Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we are going to look at tech tree tanks that wins games. Tech tree tanks that will win you games, that will higher your average win rate and just get you more wins. Of course, we had a look at yesterday the top 5 premium tanks that win games, and today we have tech tree tanks. So the Vickers is 56%. Now, I actually thought this would be higher, but currently this is number 5. I thought this would be much higher. I thought people would win games in this, but I think with the introduction of some other tanks, people are playing this tank less and overall just not performing as well. But it is still up there. It still wins you games. It is still a fun tank to play, and it is number 5 in the tech tree tanks that will win you games over the last 90 days. 56% win rate. Coming in at number 2, this is at 56.40%, and it is the E50M. Of course, the E50M is one of the most, if not the strongest tier 10 medium tank in the game. Definitely is super strong. Now, going by this, like, you got to remember, this is the top 5 tanks that win games according by win rate over the last 90 days. I'm surprised at how many higher tier tanks is in this list. I would thought maybe tier 5 or tier 4, tier 6, even tier 7, but there are a few tier 10 tanks, and I'm very surprised at any tier 10 tank at being up there in the top 5 tanks that win you games. Of course, the main goal is to get tier 10 tanks, but not everyone plays tier 10. A lot of people will play tier 8, tier 7, and some people even lower than that. So to see 2 tier 10 tanks so far in this top 5 is actually a bit of a shock, but I'm not shocked at what tank this is. I was shocked a little bit by the Vickers, but this tank I'm not so shocked. So are we going to get any more tier 10s in this list? Of course we are. It is the STB at number 3, 56.65% win rate currently in the last 90 days. Again, another tank that I am actually surprised at. In the right hands, this tank is a very good tank. You need to play it right though. It doesn't have any hull armor at all, but you do have a very strong turret. You've got good accuracy. It's basically just a very good medium tank. It's got gun depression, and you need to use that gun depression to maximize your effective armor on your turret. Doing that, you will bounce some shots, but if you're in the open, given the chance, you will get penetrated all day long. So yeah, again, another tank, and it's a medium tank as well. People seem to be winning games. I mean, these tanks are not the highest average damage in the game, but they are currently the highest win rate. So people are playing these tanks, these 3 tier 10 tanks at the moment, and they are winning games. So take out your tier 10 tanks, guys, because it seems to win battles. Are we going to get any more tier 10 tanks in this list that wins you games? That leads us to number 2. What is number 2 in the list? Of course, it is the Vickers, but the Vickers Cruiser. So at least it's not a tier 10 tank, but a tier 9. And again, I was shocked at this. I was shocked that this tank is currently winning games. 56.79% win rate over the last 90 days, and for a tier 9 light tank at that, I think that is a very good. And I like to see tier 9 tanks in the game, in this list, not just tier 8 tanks that people spam that are overpowered. Tier 9 tanks, and especially tanks that have been nerfed, because I believe this got nerfed a little bit, or it's just been nerfed a little bit. But yeah, it's still a fantastic tank. It's a tank, to be honest, I haven't played much, because I would just go and play the Vickers Light other than the Vickers Cruiser. But you can still hold your own in tier 10. You can still hold your own, and of course in tier 8 you still you can play fantastic. So yes, I was surprised that this tank was in the top 5, and people are winning in this tank. So not only have we got 3 tier 10 tanks currently in this top 5, we now have a tier 9 tank. So what is the number 1? What is the tank, the number 1 tech tree tank that is winning, that will win you games currently? We're about to find out, but we're just going to have a little bit more on this this battle Of course, it is a light tank. It's a British light tank, so you do have kind of HESH as well, good HE. And yeah, I mean, you got to use this tank as a light tank. With the introduction of things like the T100 and the Object 84, this plays very similar to the Object 84 with the DPM and stuff like that. But yeah, you can really perform, and I like these tanks in tier 9. This is why tier 9 is probably my favorite tier, because most tanks, I'm not saying all tanks, but most tanks in tier 9 can actually hold their own against tier 10 tanks, and I love the fact that they can do that. That means if they can hold their own in tier 10, just how good will these tanks be in tier 8? So yeah, this tank is absolutely fantastic against tier 8s. It's absolutely fantastic against tier 9s and tier 10s, but I am still a little bit shocked that this was number 2. Very, very shocked. I wouldn't have thought that this tank, I'd maybe thought that other tanks in tier 9 maybe, but yeah, not this one. So what tank is the highest win rate tank in the game currently? Of course, it is the T100. Not surprised at all with how good this tank is. 57.20% win rate over the last 90 days. And yet again, another tier 10 tank in this list. So 4 tier 10 tanks are currently tanks that you can take into the game to win games. Of course, don't look at this video and think, right, you know what, I need my win rate to go up, I'm going to go and take the T100. Doesn't work like that. You need to also perform in these tanks as well. You can't just roll up, do nothing and expect to win. Of course, you do need to perform, but these tanks are very good at performing, especially the T100, because of what it is. It's a light tank with medium tank DPM, 3,500 DPM for a light tank. It's got it's fast, very, very fast. You can get around the map very, very quickly, and you can deal damage, and you could deal damage very, very quickly in this tank. I mean, here now we got 3k damage, nice and easy, and we didn't even break a sweat, and we still managed to get that damage. You just bully tanks. You just have to bully tanks, especially heavy tanks that are not looking at you. Like now that E100 is not looking at us, we can just get behind him. 374 damage into that guy, 374, but then we do sort of a 299 damage, but we do take him out. So are you surprised at any of these top 5 tech tree tanks that win games? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.